listening to the Bomb Hole.
Bomb Hole Podcast.
It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody.
The Bomb Hole.
I'm gonna slide down them big hills, you know what I mean, on the big, nice burgundy snowboard.
Okay, here we go again. We are back in the booth at the Bomb Hole. Another day presented by Pub Beer and Liquid Death. Now, Stony Buds, how we doing, my dog?
So good, my dog.
Today, we have a little special live audience. A lot of Dustbox members are watching for this episode with, to my left, Cooper Whittier. What's happening, Coop?
Not much, man. Just excited to be here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
So good.
Happy to be talking to you. Now, do you want us to call you Coop or do you want us to call you the Shaman?
Whatever you please.
Okay, I may refer to you as the Shaman for the rest of the
All right.
episode.
Fair enough.
And in regards to the Shaman, I believe, what episode was it? Blake Paul. We coined you the Shaman. So you're the Shaman basically of the Dustbox, your guys' crew. Some of the listeners may not be familiar, but basically one of the most heavyweight crews out. Now, for the people that are unfamiliar, you guys drive around maybe 20 deep in two vans. Can you kind of paint a picture of what your guys' crew is like and what it's like in those vans?
Yeah. Started off 20. That's pretty fair. I think most trips where we're pretty crewed up, we're sitting like 6 in each van. So we all leave the Airbnb every morning, kind of link up out front. 2 different squads, 2 different plans, hop in, and then it's just mayhem. Driving, scoping, just looking for spots all day long. Music.
Who's got the aux cord? That's what I want to know.
Oh, dude, that fluctuates.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like a mood thing. Like I'd say early morning, you're trying to get juiced. Meehan.
Okay.
He's got good tracks in the morning. Like if
Okay.
you're trying to get fired up, like maybe what spot you're going to. Yeah, he'll toss on some.
What about like maybe Agony to Defeat? Is anybody throwing on like maybe Allison Chains down in a hole or anything like that?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely. Maybe that's where I'll come in with the softer.
Is there like an emo van and a rap van, or
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe like the Inspivia guys are maybe more emo.
Like
Ryan
a
and Jonas.
lot of like the Smiths and Morrissey going on in there.
Yeah, exactly. Little Midwest emo.
how do you decide which van you're gonna get in?
Dude, I think that's like, how's your body feeling? Like maybe there's a crew that is, it's got spots lined up, and then maybe there's more of a crew that is just scoping. And maybe there's like chiller van, and then like a van that's like, okay, we got like 3 spots that we're going to try to go bang out. And if you're trying to just go support, maybe you want to just go with the homies that know what they're doing, and like it's easy. You just go shovel. But if you're like, hey, maybe we'll go find something and hop on it. I don't know. I think it's just like day by day as it goes.
That's sick. You mix it up.
So
Yeah.
who's Chains?
Chains is the white van. That's
Who's driving Chains?
that's McGonagall. McGonagall's over there in the crowd for all the viewers.
We're
but
gonna have to hit him with a
Yeah.
big old air horn.
That's his van.
I heard he's an avid driver.
Avid driver.
And then you got Mo driving the other one, correct?
Yeah. Mo drives the black van.
Now, we could get right into it. We have a guest question from Dan.
Dan
He could
himself?
actually, since he's live audience member, he could actually just yell it. Do you remember what it is, Dan, or do you want me to hit the button?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you hit us with the live audience yell of the question?
So yeah, it goes along with the van, but I gotta yell.
Yeah, come over to the mic and ask
Yes,
it. Come
yeah,
on
get
over.
over
Get
here,
it in
get
the
over
mic,
here.
Get right in
otherwise-
with the
otherwise
box.
they won't hear it.
These guys roll deep with the box.
Hey man,
always.
welcome to the show.
Oh, he's got a pub beer.
Yeah.
Oh, huge shout out to Pub Beer.
So
Spit it in the mic.
spit into this.
There we
What's my
go.
question? I gotta think for a sec.
Something about best and worst.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're in the van,
Yep.
and I wanted to know the worst person to be with in the gang, like out of spot in the van, and then the best person to be with.
So you're saying like chilling at the spot, like just you?
Well, it could be like maybe a time when like someone was slacking and you're like, yo, this homie just isn't keeping up. Or like maybe
Somebody's
like
feelings are about to get hurt. I
Sounds
like
like
this.
he knows a
I like
particular
this.
time.
Here we go.
Oh, dude, that's a tough one. So we're saying, shit.
Somebody's gonna be mad at you after this answer, no matter what. It's a
Shit.
lose-lose. He kind of threw you under the bus for this.
Yeah, you did. God damn it.
All right, which member of the box is about to get run over by the van right now, metaphorically?
Oh my God. Fuck, dude.
You got to say somebody. You can't Louis Vito yourself out of this question.
No,
and
I'm
dodge
not gonna.
it. You got to give us a fucking answer.
I mean, I know who Dan wants me to say, and I know who I want to say, but I don't want to.
Well, who is it? Say it, dude.
Name names.
Fuck. Oh shit. I'm
He
just saying.
He looks like he's trying to pull a Louis Vito right now.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
he's
But
kinda
first year. Lacking. Maybe Nick Erickson. He not the best shoveler. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah,
Nick.
Shots fired.
So he was
Shots
not
fired.
strong with the shovel. That
Not
happened.
strong
Hey,
with the shovel.
you know, some people aren't.
Some people aren't.
Bud's over here. That's
Yes.
not where he shines, but he shines in other
not
areas.
true. It's
You know,
not true.
he shines in the banter department,
Yep.
but he maybe isn't moving mountains out there.
I've moved some mountains.
Move some foot. I would say foothills.
Foothills?
Yeah, I would say foothills.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, so part 2 of the question is
Best.
best.
Okay. That's maybe like equally as hard. All the homies they put on, and even Nick, if you're watching this, you still put on. Sorry I had to call you out like that, but fuck, maybe Dan.
Okay, let's give him
Either
an air
Dan
horn.
or Robbie, because I know those guys. They'll ride for me.
Okay, those are rider guys.
warble.
Like that.
But
Like that. That's kind of a win-win. You didn't dodge either, so respect.
You ever catching anybody hiding in the van for warmth because it's cold out?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'll pull that. You know,
That's right.
I've been there
You
a
have
couple times.
such a low body fat count. It's hard for you to stay warm.
I feel like me and Robbie get caught chilling in the van.
That's fair.
Staying warm. But dude, honestly, the past 2 years it's been so warm all
True.
over the country that like I don't know.
Shout out
Don't
to
even need
global
it.
warming.
Yeah.
after
Shout
that.
out to
Let's give that
global
a little air
warming.
horn.
Sweatshirts in the streets.
Bomber. And you guys are on the road all season pretty much, huh?
Yeah, January to March.
So
Props.
I had hot takes. I had a hot takes dust box edition for later in the show, but we're kind of on that right now. So let's just
Okay.
keep it going.
Yeah.
So let's just try to run through these quick, so you don't sit there and spin your wheels about it. Just blurt out whoever you're thinking. Okay, who's the slowest getting ready?
Ryan Collins or Jonas.
Who's the smelliest?
Fuck Warble.
Who's the dirtiest?
Dude, maybe me.
Who's the shaman?
Yo, honestly, maybe Warble. Maybe Warble. All right, we might have to
Trying to divert shaman. Okay. Who's the most hangry in the morning?
me
Okay, who gets
or Colt.
Who gets the tricks the easiest?
Dude, I don't know. Warble,
Who's the worst at sharing?
Reed,
Who's the biggest supporter of the dust box?
one person.
Yeah.
Mo.
And my favorite and last question, who's the most psycho?
Reed.
Give him an air horn for his psychoness.
Good psycho.
Okay, so we're kind of moving right along here, but one thing that I think is cool that you guys have going on, it seems like it's kind of like one guy gets a shot, we all get a shot. So for just to back it up a little bit, like what we're talking about is in regards to street snowboarding, filming videos, and everybody going out on trips to try to get clips for video, just to be real clear. So like when it comes to that, it seems like you guys have such a good, one guy gets a shot, we all get a shot mentality. And in my generation, a lot of times it was like everybody going out for their own video part, me. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I think what a lot of it stems from is, just to paint a picture for everybody, we leave on the road January 1st and we're on the road. We're not flying in, like some homies will, if you got to go on another trip. But for the most part, it's like we are all there all winter long, all staying together. So I think when you get into that, it's like a little bit more of a collaborative effort in a sense where it's like, maybe you'll have days where nobody will get a shot. So then when somebody gets a shot, dude, like you're juiced because it's just filling time in that video. So it doesn't really matter. And like we spend so many days in the streets that it's like you're not really rushing because you're going to be out there tomorrow and the day afterwards. And if it rains, we'll drive to another city. So it's like, it's definitely big crew vibes as far as like, dude, you can't be bummed if the other homie gets a shot. Like, you can't be like, oh, dude, I wish because, dude, like, that's the best shit ever. Like, I don't know, like everybody's stoked when you ride away.
That's beautiful. I think a lot of people can benefit from hearing that. And that's kind of right along the lines of one of our guest questions, which is from Mo Jennings, one of the Dustbox filmers. Yeah, throw the headphones on. And yeah, Mo is a real gem of a human. Here
he
we go.
is.
Here's his question.
What up, Bombhole Gang? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm super excited to see that you guys got Cooper on the show. I was trying to come up with a question for Coop, and I thought it'd be interesting to hear Cooper elaborate on the topic of friendship and snowboarding, and how it's been important to him to not only snowboard, but to be able to pursue snowboarding with his friends, and how that was kind of what drove the creation of the Dustbox. And yeah, I know that Coop's got a lot to say on the matter, and I just think it'd be cool to hear it in his own words, how those friendships that he's created in snowboarding have been there for him, and how it's ultimately allowed him to chase his dreams. All right, thanks, gang. Peace.
Thank you, Mo. Huge shout out to Mo Jennings. I mean, dude, best dude ever. He's an angel. He's the Dustbox angel for sure. But yeah, to get into it, I mean, it's everything. It's like, you're not gonna have fun on the mountain. I mean, sure, you'll have fun doing your tricks, and like, snowboarding's awesome, but if you go up there with your homies, you are having much better time. And I think that's the basis of it. It's like, it's something that you share. And if you're not sharing it with others around you, and I get that's not something that everybody's like has access to, like a good friend group where you can feed off each other, but dude, if you do, like, you gotta protect that, because that's special. And it's, dude, I wouldn't trade anything for it. Literally nothing. I would drop every single sponsor, and I say this all the time, every single sponsor I have for my homies. Like, if that's what it took, like, that's literally, it's all I care about. Like, being in the van with the bros, it's the best shit ever.
God damn, he is a shaman.
Well said, right there.
He wise beyond your years in so many ways here, hearing that, because I think there's a lot there, but I think about like what you said about being a friend. A lot of times people are like, oh, I don't have that many friends, or this or that, and I think that in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend, right? So,
seriously. And
what I hear from everybody is that you're a really good friend. You're like, everybody I talk to get ready for this interview, they're like, Coop will do anything for his dogs. He puts the crew first. Like, he's there, he's shoveling. He's just as hype as if his friend gets a shot or that. And like, this is kind of deep or whatever. I'm going to go there right now. But like, I've been to some funerals recently. It's seen some friends pass. Yep. And like, you think about like your accomplishments being important, and you think that that's what's important. And then you actually realize, like, when all the shit's said and done, it's like those relationships with your friends are what fucking matter. Right. So like, you kind of like, when we call you the shaman, it's because you already surpassed, like, it takes a long time to figure that out, or never at all sometimes. So.
Dude, and I think it definitely took me some time to figure it out. I mean, I'm obviously still very young, but like, it took some maturing to really realize, like, that is, like you're saying, it's what matters, like, all that stuff that you've done means nothing if you don't have the people there to just enjoy life with. And I mean, like, some people are fine with living a life kind of by themselves without a lot of connections, but I don't know. That's my friends and family are what keep me going. So yeah, you got to protect that shit.
Yeah, when you see that guy on the mountain that's kind of riding alone with their headphones on, I always trip on that, because it's just not the same as when you got your boys with you.
Yeah, seriously.
So if I gave you $5 million in a duffel bag right now, and you could never see the members of the Dustbox again, you wouldn't take it.
No.
Let's give you an air horn for that.
Good man.
No. And I mean, who knows? Maybe the money's there. It'd be a little bit more like apprehension.
If it was actually piled up,
but I will say I'd be miserable. I'd be miserable.
I would take the money, but I would be miserable.
Well, you see that a lot of times. You see like some rich guy living in a house by himself or whatever.
Yeah, straight up.
You're like, what's the point of money? What good's money if you got nobody to share it with? You're right.
Seriously.
And so, yeah, that's beautiful. Now I have a question. I'm gonna go deep dive Dr. Phil psychology here for a second. But maybe I was talking to Mo, and he was saying you grew up as a bit of a loner, maybe in Maine. Is that true or no?
I mean,
maybe you didn't have your crew yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I had good friends from school, and like I had probably 1 to 3 friends that I was like really close with in Maine, and like big shout out to all my homies from Maine, like my homie Henry and my homie Ben, my homie Adam, so many other dudes. But I do think it was hard because I didn't have any homies that snowboard or skated, so there was a little bit of disconnect as far as that. And then maybe what Mo was talking about is in Rado, when I was living in Rado, that was when I was in high school.
Copy, yeah.
And I was riding with a lot of people, but it was just like I lived far away and didn't have a car. My dad's working, he's grinding, so it's like, I get back from the mountain and I'm just chilling. And I think that was definitely loner vibes. Definitely loner vibes, but it's good for you. Because then you get a steady group of friends and you're like, wow, like, that means the world to you.
Get you some appreciation.
Yes.
Now going back to the new Dustbox video, it's got a few 100,000 views, right? And you have all these brands come out here, they spend all these fucking money trying to make these videos. They can't even get any goddamn views, right? And it's like, it's so beautiful because, what do you think it is? I mean, I can say in my words, but what do you think it is that, is the draw of why people are so drawn to your guys' videos? What's that little intangible flavor or ingredient?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think about it sometimes. I've definitely sat there and been like, why did this one catch and why did the one before that catch more than any of our other videos? And I think one thing is maybe that YouTube channel has been on there for a while and I only watch skateboarding on there. So I think that might sound weird, but I think that as far as like YouTube might see it more as a skateboarding channel and not put it in the snowboarding category just because of its viewing history and the other channels it interacts with. And I think it's the fact that like you watch it and it kind of grabs your attention and it's just maybe a little different from like, you don't know what you're getting into. You look through the comments and people like, dude, I thought I was going to like listening to some like emo album. That's what I thought when I clicked on this. But YouTube's weird. I don't know. It's
So maybe YouTube's showing it to different people because the algorithm's
but
set up.
At the end of the day, when something has a few 100,000 views, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
If you put some dog shit out there, people aren't going to be rocking
with it. People are sharing it.
To me, the thing, if I'm going to give my 2 cents on it, it's like you think about like what context do you watch videos in? And like a lot of times you're like, oh, I want to go snowboarding today. What should I put on? And it's so easy to be like, I'm going to put on the Dustbox video because the soundtrack's banger, the tricks are cool, it's all different songs, the spots are great, and it's like there's a general vibe, like you can see that it's genuine. It's genuine. A lot of times you take a snowboard team and they're like, we're a fucking X brand, right? We're gonna take these people that don't even fucking know each other, put them all together on trips, and then try to fucking sell it and put it in a video. And people are just like, dude, I'm not rocking with this.
Yeah.
When you look at your guys' shit, you're like, this is genuine. These dudes, and like you can't fucking sugarcoat that.
Straight up.
The viewers sniff that out.
They sniff it out, yeah.
That there's no companionship and you're not homies, and they can tell.
Straight up. And I think that goes back to, I guess that was a Patreon question that we did earlier, but where it's trending, it's like, as we were saying, the doing it for the wrong reason, it shows through. Like, it shows through completely. Like, you watch any homie video, you're obviously going to be more juiced than watching some, like you're saying, just a brand video where they're just paying group of guys to go to a city. I mean, it's sick, and great riding will come out of it, but personal gain, I think there's personal gain in front of crew gain, and I think that shines.
And that you see that a lot too, because kudos to you guys for in an age of, God damn it, if I get that clip and I put it on Instagram right now, it's gonna go hard. But like saying, let's hold out and fucking save it for the video. And that, what do they call that? Prolonged gratification?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. That's like fucking, you guys are wise beyond your years, and to stay with that when I think you see that a lot of people in your same age group are more straight to gram.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just comes from like what we grew up on as far as, I mean, dude, I still think about filming as like it was earlier in snowboarding, where that's every single video was like a video crash or anything along the lines of like just big productions. You work all year, edit all summer, and it comes out in the fall. And
what videos did you look up to as a kid? Like, what were your go-tos?
When I was really young, it was Absinthe More, right? That's what it's called. Yeah. Absinthe More. And that. perform that. Those were the
Those
two
are
that like
classics.
I had 3 videos when I was younger and it was pretty sweet. Or no, sorry, fully flared more in that. And those were the 3 videos that like kind of only had to watch. So definitely like drew a ton of inspiration from those.
It's a nice little 3 stack to have.
Well, not complaining.
So, what we're going to get into is we're going to talk about the Hell Ride. Now,
Okay.
before we do, the video on the screen, I actually, Colton, which I'm going to give an air horn, who's in the live audience, provided
Big
us with
shout
a
out.
little behind-the-scenes Hell Ride. But there's a scenic shot, and it looks like Tech Nine's little playground right there. I noticed. Looks like Tech Nine crew would be all over
might have
that.
stayed in there
You
once on a trip.
I can see Stony Buzz with the fisheye around his neck, posted up under some graffiti right there, getting the clip. All right,
Finger on the trigger.
can you talk us through exactly? We're gonna play this and on the screen. Just talk us through. This is one of the craziest clips ever filmed snowboarding. So here we go. Maybe you can give us a quick backstory before we get into it, or do you want to do that and then we'll play the clip?
Yeah, backstory, I guess. Google Earthing. Checking out the hospital. It's like, maybe there's something over here, big bust, but always give it a poke. I'm like, see this huge slope that looks metal and some fences around it. I was like, wow.
You went from 6 to midnight in the
Yeah.
crotch region. You just got excited about that one.
Yo, seriously though, I was like, oh my God, this spot is insane. And then we scoped it and it was like, doesn't really work that well because there's a fence at the bottom. And I tried to go there and like kick the gate out with my foot, but just ended up like breaking the handle a little bit. And we were already like in some shit with the Montreal police. They were already like pretty bummed on us for getting caught on a couple roofs. So we were like definitely on pretty thin ice and weren't trying to push it. And pretty much ended up just adapting to it and like went the night before and built the crazy like roller kicker over the fence. It's supposed to be more of like a launch pad instead of like a jump, like supposed to be gradual. Didn't turn out
At that
gradual.
speed,
At that speed, yeah.
it becomes aggressive.
Yeah, anything becomes aggressive at that speed.
And then you threw, it looks like about 4 shovelfuls of snow on the road.
Oh, well, so if we want to get into that, we pull up and I drop in on it, not jumping over the fence before, and land probably 2 feet before the road. No snow in the road.
With no speed.
Yeah, without any speed coming from, like, just dropping in on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I aced the jump, and I felt comfortable, and I was, like, in control, but I don't think I accounted for how much speed I was going to have coming over the fence.
It's good as experience. You learn everything. Continue.
Yeah, no experience. And I mean, dude, at that time, I was 18. So still, I had only been in the streets for 3 years. I mean, that's only so much time, and definitely a huge, huge learning experience.
Well, let's play the clip. Here we go. So we have the Tech Nine playground of punishment, we'll call it, in the background there. This is Montreal. So we get a long lens. This is for the listeners. Long lens drop-in shot. All right, here we go. Here's the clip. Onto the grate.
First one. That was the first one over the fence.
Oh, yeah. This shows the warm-up go. And you're like, oh, I got this. I was chill.
No, dude, I was shitting. Yeah, I mean, there was confidence, but it was like a bad kind of confidence.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, can we talk about when you leg buckled and you're heading towards pavement right here?
Yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, it's similar to slipping out on a front underflip or like a front 7. Slipping out on a front 7. I'm sure you've done it where like lip gives out and you can feel your shoulder dropping. And I had felt that a couple times before. I like, as I was going up, I was like, oh shit. Like I knew it was going to happen. I was like, I'm going up. Like I'm going back. Like I'm losing control. And I mean, dude, obviously there's no thought process because in the moment it's just instinct, but just trying to go with it. Like just trying to look, just trying to like keep an eye on like, okay, am I going to hit the barrier? Like, am I going to clip or am I going to make it in the street? And just like trying to have a visual of what's going on. And I think that like search for a visual is what tossed me into the right rotation.
I heard there was another thing you attributed your success to coming back to your feet. And it was air awareness class as a child.
I think just a lot of trampoline time.
Okay.
A lot of trampoline time.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. And I definitely like spent a ton of time on those fly bed trampolines, like those nice super tramps. Like one of my friends from back home had one, so I was always at his house.
It always goes back to air awareness.
It always goes back to air awareness.
Even in the
It's
streets.
crucial.
I mean, you can tell the second he was upside down, he was looking, eyeing, spotting it.
Yeah, dude, I definitely am thankful for like having a bit of an understanding of like where my body is in the air.
I always feel like when shit's starting to hit the fan in the streets, like we're pretty crafty and resourceful. Like you kind of learn how to squirm your way out of stuff. You're going down
Straight up.
I mean, not always. Sometimes you pay the piper, but like for the most part, that's something I always tell myself too. I'll be like trying to front board a kink, and I'll be like scared. I'm like, I'm resourceful.
Yeah.
I know how to squirm out of this. Like you just gotta tell yourself, okay, I know what I'm doing.
You guys know how to fall. I mean, people that get badly hurt most of the time, it's because they're not experienced like you guys are.
Totally.
I mean, the amount of times I've seen you guys do the gnarliest things and make your way out of it, it's without being hurt. It's incredible.
Buds would have been there at the bottom saying, "You got this, bud. Next try."
Let's get you back up there, Coop. I think you definitely got that. You almost landed that, dog.
He's looking at his camera. He's not even looking at you. He's just looking at his camera. Usually,
just chimping, as we learned the other day.
Just a little bit out of frame. We gotta run that one back.
I got a good still. Just go back up and land it now.
Let's go back to. We're gonna run it back to your Maine roots. Grew up. Where did you grow up snowboarding?
Sunday River.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout. I don't know.
Shout out to
We've
Sunday
had a couple
River.
Maine Mainas, I believe they call him in the booth.
Big Mike.
Yeah.
Big Mike the shaman. You know. And I met you as a child at High Cascade, I remember, and you were rocking the gold helmet, which I got a photo of right here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that fit right there.
Nice.
And I got to edit of you when you're a little kid. I filmed your mom. Shout out to Jen.
Huge shout out.
Major
Love you, Mom.
Support unit of the Dust Box as well. She sent me this screenshot of edit I made from 2014 when you were like a little bobblehead, and to all gold everything. Drop to board slide.
Dude, that was such a crazy year.
Wow.
Just that little strip.
Oh, that was a bad snow year, huh?
Yeah. Session 6.
How old were you then?
If that was 2015,
2014, 20, I don't remember. I looked
well,
at
then
the Instagram.
I think I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people that have been in that booth attribute a lot of their success to Mount Hood.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing you since you were a little bobblehead there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to talk about that?
Definitely. I mean, Mount Hood is, I think, like you're saying, so many people attribute so much of their connections, their networking, and success to Mount Hood, and I can definitely agree. I mean, it's just when you have one place where everybody can get together in the whole community, it's like a little place to shine, like to showcase somebody's riding, and definitely easier to get recognized if like you're in one place where everybody else is. It's just it just makes sense. And I think I definitely after that summer, like Ev from Adidas, he DM'd me and I was like, if I hadn't gone, dude, definitely
wouldn't have seen you.
Definitely wouldn't have seen me, and that wouldn't have happened. So huge shout out to Mount
You were
Hood.
there as a camper?
No, I was there that summer. I was there with Gnu. That was like my first time.
Dude,
going
he was
on a trip
beating
with them.
everything down.
Speeding
Skating
everything
all
down,
day,
that gold
snowboarding.
So much energy.
But also, the gold
14.
helmet, let's talk, that's a bit of a flex. That's a big, like,
Did
you
you
got to be.
spray paint that? Or?
No, you can buy them gold.
buy 'em.
Yeah.
You got to
You're
be
like, I
feeling
want the gold
yourself.
one.
Like, you're not showing up with a gold helmet. Like, you're busting.
Yeah.
You got a gold
Or you
helmet.
better be.
You're not in the back of the pack. You're at the front, just show pony. You know what I mean? And you were a show pony at that age amongst the kids, you know?
Why, thank you.
The rest of the kids are all campers, kids same age. This guy's going like, you were a jumper too. I remember like you've been able to switch backside and all that shit for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Rado, maybe that's some Rado inspo, or is that
Yeah,
pre-Rado?
No, that I'd spent some time in Rado. I want to say that was like first year after living in Colorado, and like dude, those jumps, they wear off on you for sure.
So
Maine,
They get you ready.
Are you pro Rado or are you anti Rado? What's your stance on Colorado?
beautiful place, great street spots, horrible culture.
Geez, these Rado listeners are probably sick and tired
They're
of
probably
they're getting
so
made fun of.
out.
All right, well,
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it's great there though. I mean, it's so pretty and
Look what it's time for.
okay, it is time for the Liquid Death spinning wheel of death. Now, if you're getting my truck and look in the passenger side, it is littered with empty tall cans. You may think, Chris, Chris is an alcoholic. What the hell's wrong with this guy? Well, they're actually mountain spring water. They're Liquid Death tall cans. Best part is you can drink them if you're pregnant. And you, instead of blacking out and driving around your vehicle, you can drive around and drink water.
Hydrated.
Hydrated.
Murder your thirst. Dude, for me, man, this metal can keeps the drink so cold.
Bud's likes the cold.
I like
a cold drink.
beverage, man. I just crush these all day long at my crib.
So if you're interested in getting some Liquid Death, head on over to liquiddeath.com/bombhole. You'll get a few free koozies with your first purchase. Again, that is liquiddeath.com/bombhole. We'll have a link in the description of the YouTube video and also as well as the show notes of the audio version of this. Now, let's get into the Liquid Death spinning wheel of death. Now, Coop, you're going to need to spin this thing.
Okay.
Just for the listeners, I'll read a couple options. We have CeeLo or Shotgun a Beer Water, Focus Grenier Skateboard, Foot Race with Chris, Kickflip in Crocs, Sniffing Salts, Cold Call Most Famous Person on your phone, Donate to Charity, things like that. So there's a few other ones, but you're going to want to give it a good spin and see what it lands on. All right. Okay, here we go.
What do we got?
Foot race with
Foot race again, dude. Again.
All right, we raced them.
Wow.
Looks like we're gonna have to take a quick break, hop out of the booth, and do a
Let's
quick
do
foot
this.
race. All right, here we go.
On your marks, get set, go! Oh, that was Coop by a little bit. Wow, Coop by like a shoe, dude.
No, I want to see the video. Okay, so I just got, I wouldn't say mopped up. I lost my
not mopped up.
Not mopped up.
that was the closest
We're
foot race I've ever been.
Yeah,
It's actually almost debatable, but Coop,
Well, not really a debate, but it was definitely like a smidgen.
I'm 0-2. So Coop, he wants to spin this thing again. So we're gonna give it another spin. He's gonna go twice on the spinning wheel of death.
All right.
Let's go. Kickflip in the
Flip in the
booth.
stew.
All right, kickflip in this. Is it
get a
kickflip
deck.
Crocs or kick? Oh, kickflip Crocs.
Crocs.
Even better.
I gotta go get my Crocs.
Kickflip
Okay.
Crocs.
Get the Crocs
I
out.
didn't even know.
So
that
he's
was
going
on there.
kickflip in Crocs. Here we go. We got to go get the Crocs out of the house. All right, so we're set up. He's got the Crocs. He's got the skateboard. We're going to go kickflip in Crocs. First attempt. Wow. Damn, he actually blasted that.
Yeah, that was high.
Holy shit, FT. I was hoping you were going to land primo and like knock over one of the cameras.
Yeah, that was incredible, dude. You're skilled.
Wow, dude.
The kid is
That
skilled.
That was not edited. That was literally just first FT. Wow.
FT.
I swear the rubber, like, it grips.
You're saying Crocs are good for skating?
I think he's trying to get a pro model Croc skate shoe.
Well, you know who's got a pro model Croc?
Then he skates in it?
No.
Post
Malone.
Yeah.
Post Malone, yeah. Yep.
He's got a pro model.
Shout out to Post Malone's pro model Crocs.
I might pick up a pair of Crocs after seeing how well you can skate. They're comfortable. I mean, wow. Foot racing Crocs next time?
Oh,
See, that
wow.
would spice it up.
Foot racing Crocs with the heels like not in sport mode.
Yeah.
That would be
Chiller mode.
Chiller mode.
Put it on the wheel.
Want me to get in a little page quest?
That's it at Patreon.
All right. This one is from Grippo. And he asks, what are some tips to being a tall dog on a steel? Also, what do you see your brand Apple becoming in the next few years?
Oh, this guy's in tune. Respect.
In tune. These page members know what's up.
Tall dog on the steel.
It's a good question.
Honestly, I think knowing when to collapse your upper body and knowing when to stay stacked, like, I think that's pretty crucial. Like, know when you really should lock that core up and like try to just center all of your body weight. Or there's times like I think tall people, like, I always got told, like, don't collapse at the hips, but that's bullshit. Like, that helps, especially if you have like a little disproportionate.
What he's referring to is like in essentially body mechanics is like if you're going to imagine you're doing a squat on a squat rack, they say your back should be straight and you should go straight up and down is like your ideal form.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about collapsing at the hips is like, hinging over as you take off. So this is a good topic of conversation because I've kind of struggled with the hinge, so to speak, right? So like an example would be if you're going to do a back 3 or a back 7, if you're going off a jump and you're spinning backside and you hinge, you cork. And
Yes.
if your back is straight, you spin flat. That's a huge part.
Definitely.
And so I've seen you do switch backside 9s where you hinge and it works great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just knowing the time and place. Like for anything in snowboarding, I mean, like, you got to know when to use the tools. And being a tall dude, I think, like, let's say on a front board, hinging will lock you in. If you hinge and you get low, that'll get you to the end of the rail. And you, like, don't try to, like, do the stock, like, stand up real tall and look over the shoulder. Like, I mean, somebody like Lou, like Big Lou, like, yeah, it works for him. But I don't know. That's just
this is a great conversation because this is really I love having this body mechanics.
Yeah, knowing your body and knowing what to do.
You take for example, Louis, he stands up pretty straight, and he has got very good body fundamentals. Or like I think of like Nils Mindick, he really like squats in some senses. Then you take Tommy Gesme.
Literally, what I was like thinking about his switchback.
He literally has like restless neck syndrome, minor scoliosis on the takeoff. Works great.
It works great.
It works
literally the best.
It's the best. So it's like fuck your proper body mechanics, like because that shit. He does a switchback side 270 and looks like, under his shoulder on the takeoff, which like any conventional coach would be like, you're doing that completely wrong, and then everybody's like, this guy's my favorite.
Exactly, and I think that's pretty much the big takeaway. Like, what's this guy's name? The Patreon guy.
This is Grippo.
Grippo. Whatever feels right is what you got to pursue. Like if it feels like it's the right way you should do the trick, it's probably your body saying that's how it does the trick.
That's the right way.
And there's like a Carl Watson interview. I think it's like a bunt, and he's like, you got to like play to your strengths, and that's crucial. Like you got to play to your strengths, and you got to know, like, don't look at how somebody else does it and be like, oh, that's how I have to do it, because you're gonna be able to do it better your way. So you might as well just run with that,
dude. That's fucking great advice. And one thing that's really cool, you can say that falls into line in regards to style in some senses, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of what's fresh in my head. I was just at Red Bull Recharges, the Van Mammoth, and there was Zeb Powell's riding it and Dusty Hendrickson. Now you take Dusty, they'd both be doing the same trick on the jump, and both would be so wildly different, but you fuck with like Dusty, his style, for those who are unfamiliar, very relaxed. He almost looks like he's asleep and just so nonchalant.
He's got the
so
ambient
proper
flow.
Then you have ambient, like he took a tranquilizer dart to the neck and he just went off and he's like asleep at the wheel. So then he goes off, and then Zeb is like opposite. He's like exciting and like, but both of those, the thing that's cool is those are their natural styles.
Yeah, totally.
Zeb shouldn't be like Dusty. Dusty shouldn't be like Zeb.
Completely.
Now, and then you have some of the like more, we'll call it classically trained dudes coming through.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And they're like right in the middle, perfect fundamentals, but sometimes it lacks that flavor. It's like I'll take the extreme on each side, but the perfection sometimes doesn't speak to me.
Yeah, I think you got if you do have that perfection mentality, you got to know how to run with it. Take Big Lou for instance. Like, he's dialed, and his style shows through in the way he approaches it. And, he's not trying to be anybody else.
He's just Big Lou.
He's just Big Lou.
I never realized that about the hinge either. I used to always have a hard time with keeping spins flat back when I used to shred. And probably with heavier body, I was probably hinging more.
It's
and would
natural.
always cork out. So that's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people are going to take something from what you said.
I mean,
here.
dude, that Dusty comment that he had on his bomb hole with you guys, where he's talking about taking off on jumps and like getting past, I don't know if he was saying 12 or 9. I don't know, just like little tidbits like that are awesome. Because he said that, and Dan and I were in the car like, what? Like, it clicked. Like, it makes sense. Like, we could do front 10s now. Like, we could do anything. Like, it just makes so much sense. And just like hearing a rider's perspective is crucial.
It's a great topic too, because a lot of our listeners, I get hit up all the time. Like, they'll send me a jump clip and say like, what do you think about this? And I'm not fucking don't listen to me. Like, I don't have good fundamentals, but like the thing that you notice about the dudes that are real good, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten was from Ozzie Henning. And
dude,
he basically said, he was like, take a dump in the woods don't bend over. Like, and that was so like I'd be coming in the jump, be like, take a dump in the woods, take a dump in the woods, and like and so that was like
that is good advice.
That is good advice for spinning. And also the other thing too is like you watch the rookie move is like initiating, whether it be it a 270 onto a rail or be it a back 10. The initiation is way too early. Like, so if you watch like a pro, like, or somebody that's really good, they wait, pop, and then they do their trick. It's not this like heaving it off the lip, slow it down, and then, so
Patience.
Yeah. Especially with rails too.
Especially with rails. And dude, crazy enough, one of my biggest pieces of advice I ever gained when I was young was from Ozzy as well. At Wendell's, he was my coach, and he was saying,
give him an air horn.
Yeah, huge air horn for Ozzy. I mean, goat. The S turn into a rail and like setting up your momentum and the way like how you're going to get set up down the rail. And that S before gets you to the end of the rail because you're not coming in at any specific angle. All your momentum's even in the center of the S.
Essentially what he's describing is like your setup turn should match your spin.
Exactly. Yeah.
So however hard your heel side turn is to set up for your toe side is going to match on the lip. So, and the more, when it comes to jumps, the more you want to actually straighten that S out. Yeah. And try to keep it not very boomerang like.
On a rail will keep you not going to either side. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, dude, that's like for some listeners that are trying to maybe, I don't know, dial down their cab 2 or something. Mm-hmm. I think that's a huge piece of advice that goes a long way. So while we get off,
well, there's a part 2.
Part 2. Yeah, Apple. I mean that's okay. So for the listeners, that's Cody. I can't take any credit for it. It's Cody. Like Cody came up with the original design. We were power washing some screens and accidentally made this apple, and we were like, let's draw apple under it. So then Cody and I have just kind of been running with it. And dude, I don't really know if anything's gonna come out of it, but maybe if like people start messing with it, like maybe we'll get some traction. It's just for fun. We just spend so much time in that garage, like doing the same graphic 100 times that.
To explain exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe I should back it up. Yeah. So I don't live at the house, but there is a house in Salt Lake that has a screen printing setup, and that's where we make all the Dustbox clothing. We have a bunch of screens. We have all the equipment. We make everything there. Like literally, we're not even buying screens pre-made. Like we make the screens in that house, all hands on. And so there's like a lot of, you have to wash out screens. And in the process, we like made this graphic, this logo by accident and turned it into like a little side company. And it's just like a way to keep it fun because it honestly gets pretty repetitive and pretty boring making the same graphic 100 times. So.
Well, one thing we should back up is that, Dustbox is not a crew that is like, you guys are young guys, you don't have a ton of money. And going back, like, if you support the Dustbox and you buy a Dustbox t-shirt or you buy a hoodie, it is, these guys buy it as cheap as they can. They make the screen themselves, they print it themselves, and then you're essentially funding these guys to get in their van and go film a video. So like you want to talk about supporting cool shit in snowboarding, supporting the Dustbox is that to a complete T. Like you buy a shirt, then that money goes into account, and then all these guys fucking put their life on the line and just go get some, and it's fucking awesome. It's just a cool deal.
It is a cool deal. You put on for us, we'll put on for you. And I mean, thanks for bringing that up because I mean, I don't think a lot of people know that it's not like we take that money and are like, spending it on bullshit.
Split it up and put it in your pocket.
Yeah, no. I mean, none of that goes into anybody's pockets. We went to New York City off of, like that first trip to New York City and Boston, we went there off of clothing sales. None of our money from sponsors had come in yet, and we got to New York off of t-shirt money. So, like, thank you to anybody that bought anything.
For the Airbnb.
Exactly.
Gas money.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's literally gas in the tank.
Now, I also kind of am under the understanding that you are one of the guys kind of leading the charge on the graphics and design stuff. Now, what got you into that, and where does your inspiration come from for all those graphics and all the t-shirts and the design work?
That's a good topic to touch on. I think it is collaborative. I definitely do. I spend a lot of time on the graphics, and Colton, somebody in the audience right here, he helps me a lot of the time too. We do a lot of collaborative graphics. What got me into it though, dude, I think I've literally always been into clothing. Like when I was like 7 years old, I was like, Mom, like I want to make a clothing company, like so young. Like it's just something I've always wanted to do. And I was like, never had anything, never had a name, never had a crew, or if I did, it just felt whack because it was just me. And I think it was just like, I just want to like see my homies hyped wearing this clothing. And inspiration comes literally just from my friends. Whatever, like if they don't think it's sick, I don't know. Like obviously there's stuff I prefer and I have preference and opinion, but I just want my homies to be feeling fresh in whatever I'm cooking up. So,
well, a good thing that seems like you probably go by is, would I wear that? Right?
Yeah,
that's like a gauge. Like we make merch for the bomb hole.
It's like, would you wear that?
Would I wear that? And if the answer is no, we're not making it.
Yeah, straight up.
But like you guys are even more refined in your sense of style and clothing and what you like, and it's really cool. So.
Thank you.
The gear looks dope.
Now let me ask you this. This is another wormhole to go down, because when I look at skateboarding or things like that, like how am I going to frame this? Like I like to be proud to be a skateboarder, proud to be a snowboarder, right?
Yeah.
And I got to give you guys credit, because when I look at the Dustbox video, you can watch it and you're like, this shit's fucking cool. Proud to be a snowboarder. Now there's other things that happen. Can't say the same. Now, do you feel like that same mentality was taken into account when you guys are making or creating videos and Dustbox stuff?
Yeah, totally. It's like you want to represent it well. You want somebody to watch it and be like, oh, like, that just makes me even more stoked that I went snowboarding today, and maybe I'll go snowboarding next week. And, you don't want it to be, like you're saying, it just gets watered down. People don't really care about how it's perceived or how it's presented. And that's like the most important part. Like representing the sport, sorry, like not a great term, but the act of it and the culture behind it in a true form. I mean, if you're not representing it as it is, then what are you representing?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. And I think there needs to be all of it for the record.
Yeah,
we need our shit that appeals to the masses. But we need the shit that there's people that snowboard 5 days a year, and there's people that wake up, fucking eat, sleep, live, breathe. And that type of person that makes snowboarding a lifestyle, you start to care. And I think it's important to have things that people, companies, be it Dustbox or smaller brands or things that are rider owned, or supporting the snowboarding community, supporting other snowboarders is huge. And I don't really know where I'm going with that wormhole, but
it's a good wormhole though. Yeah. I mean, I think like you're saying though, there is the homie that loves snowboarding, but maybe doesn't have the opportunity or like the ability to make it a lifestyle. And all of us, luckily enough, in our friend group do, like, dude, it's our life. Go to bed thinking about it, wake up thinking about it. We want to represent it in a proper way. And, just how we see it. So
I think when I was young, too, you might only get to snowboard on those 3 trips a year.
Yeah.
Good point. But you still only think about it, or every day. You think about it every day, all day. And you finally get to go on a ski trip or a snowboarding trip, and there you are. And then you just take that with you the whole rest of the year.
Seriously.
Yeah. Until you end up moving out west like we all did.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And going back to you guys dedicating your life to videos per se, right? So Dustbox video, it's just videos your whole life. You talked about growing up wanting, that's the avenue you could have gone for the Olympics or whatever. Everybody picks their own lane. You choose snowboarding and snowboard videos. Now, that being said, I come from that world myself. Yeah. And there's like a thing we talk about on the show called clip high.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
can we talk about clip high a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you experience clip high when you get, for the layman's, after you've been like in a van for a week and you've been thinking about this one trick that you want to get, and then you finally show up at the spot and you're fucking scared and you don't know if you could do it, and you know it's going to perfectly complement the video in just the right way, and you get it, you get on like a euphoric high, as if you just did some drugs.
You
just feel the best you've ever felt, really.
Yeah, you feel like you're on top of the world. I mean, dude, that's it. It's euphoria. It's like, you know, getting to that place that you didn't think you could get to necessarily. And, you know, it's not after every clip. You do something that you're not pushing yourself hard enough, you're not going to get that. And that's when you know, like, all right, I got to step it up. You know, like, if you're not getting that feeling, maybe you take a step back and be like, all right, maybe I should push it a little further. Because when you get that feeling, dude, it's better than anything else. Like, I think that's what drives most street snowboarders, is aside from the drive of creating something. As far as your personal drive, it's that feeling of riding away. Like, I got to the end, didn't tap, squared up, didn't fall off early. And, like, when you know, like, oh, my God, that's the best shit ever.
Yeah, a lot of times with clip high, there's it's like a drug addict. So you have the highs are high. You get somebody, you know, Buds is experiencing the van with us. You know, you're all of a sudden you're chatty, you're laughing, everything's great. But then you got you're like an addict that hasn't got their fix when you don't get it in a minute. Do you suffer from
grumpy
clip? What would you call it? Withdrawals, maybe.
Withdrawals.
You get
clip withdrawals.
Clip withdrawals. Do you experience that?
Yeah, dude. I think I think I do. Yeah, and I think the great clip, that great clip is maybe.
You're talking about the hell ride.
The hell ride.
The hell ride is a product of clip withdrawal.
That's the result of a clip withdrawal.
Oh, but yeah, I love that.
You panicked, huh? You were
Panic
just
clip.
We
Just
call
like-
to get a shot.
You know what I called? I've always called that a desperation clip.
Yeah, straight up.
I
it's
haven't got a
desperation.
clip in a week. I will fucking jump on anything.
I'm getting a shot.
Let's die today,
Dude,
We're
straight.
getting a shot.
That's a classic desperation clip.
And that was the last day we filmed for that video. Last day on the whole trip. That was day like 57 or something. And it was just, we hadn't found something in a while that I was like really juiced on. And
you wanted
here's
one more
another.
shot.
Here's another.
What we're gonna play here for the listeners. We have a clip high, a clip addict in his true element here, battling a back clip on a kink rail. This is keyword Kia spot from Colton.
Kia kink.
So can you talk us through what's going on here at the Kia kink?
Okay, so first homie that you see before this lady, super down. He was like, wow, this is awesome. Every person that had come out earlier thought it was so cool. They all worked at this Kia dealership until that lady.
Oh, that would have been a banger. I could see why you're going clip addict on him. That back lip, we need that.
So that lady,
That's a
need
sick,
that
sick
lady
rail.
that came out was like, you can't do this. Like, what the hell are you doing? You can't be here. Like, why? This is okay? You think this is okay?
Oh my God, you got robbed on that.
Robbed.
Yeah.
Also, he's hinging on the back lip. Okay, looks like we have some super citizens, we'll call them.
Yeah,
Not
she
happy.
brings out her supervisor, and dude, they're just like, oh, they're being the worst.
Oh my God, he goes inside, outside.
It was such
happening?
a bummer. It was literally like, I think that second one that plays on the screen might have been the second try. Like it was coming together quick, and I was like, oh wow, like this is going down, and kind of enjoyed the pressure. I was like,
What are you
So
signing
right now
there?
it looks like we have a plow guy pulling up.
oh yeah, I was like, oh, you're gonna have to throw snow, 'cause I saw this lady come.
Oh, and they come and take your landing.
Yeah, she took the landing. This lady was psycho.
So they're plowing away the landing for the listeners.
Are you like
Now
still
he's
gonna
like,
give her a
fuck
go?
it. There's not much snow in the landing. Coop's like, I'm jumping on this right now.
I mean, dude, it's wet. It's wet pavement. It still moves. That definitely gets in your head though. When
Yeah.
there's not that proper landing, like you could get to the end and ride away, but
You got another try?
So then the plow driver parks at the bottom of the rail, and he's kind of motioning, get the fuck out
Yeah,
of the
just
way.
give me another inch.
literally an inch.
So he's jumping on the rail with a plow driver at the bottom. What was the mentality there?
Oh, I was like, dude, maybe I get like most of the rail and hop out before the plow trick. Like that'd be pretty sick.
Just
Like
to
that'd be
scare 'em.
hilarious. Like that'd be so funny. This lady was the worst though. I mean,
She
I
worked
get
for
it.
the building?
Yeah, I think she was maybe like she was either the owner or the manager of the building, and I understand, like, you know, liability,
They're doing
all
their
that
job.
jazz. You're doing your job, but the
So
hostility. It's just like, call the cops. They'll come. I'll leave. Before the cops show up, like, just let the guys jib.
close. Yeah,
You know?
let the kids jib.
Yeah, like it's a stair set. Like it's a stair set. I don't know. There's so many bigger
Was
things
that
in
a
the
car
world.
dealership? Is
Yeah,
that
car
what's going on?
dealership.
That's
That's
a
of
kid's
course.
job.
But this was in Iowa in a like middle of nowhere town, not many rails. So definitely desperation clip where it's like, all right,
You wanted that shot.
Yeah, like there's only so many rails in this tiny town. Like, you know, to find a good one is pretty.
One thing I do have to say, a backflip through a kink, timeless. It doesn't matter. That's a timeless trick. A well done backflip through a kink or a well done backflip on a big rail.
And that was a big one.
Timeless.
That rail's, it was fun. It is timeless, dude. I mean, look at like Jed. Oh my God, Jed's backflip through that Norway kink. I literally, not that rail is anywhere in comparison to the greatness of the one he hit, but was definitely thinking about like that clip of Jed going backflip through that perfect big kink. Like that just, I don't know. Nothing looks better than that.
Oh, totally. It's and it'll look good for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Where some
up.
shit comes in and out of style where you're like, oh, this fucking wall ride, or like, that's a bad example, but certain things come and go as far as what's cool. But
yeah, totally.
A good backflip always, like if you watch old, A grade tricks from JP back in the day, I think about that. Like he backflipped that big rail up in Salt Lake. It was an import, it looked like, or there was barely any snow.
Yeah, the one we were talking about, that the one up by Judge.
That could come out today and still be a great clip.
Seriously. I mean, dude, backflip, it's one of the best tricks, no doubt.
Did you guys go back at night and get the shot, or?
Dude, so we were going to, we had a couple spots that we were trying to tackle. This other spot was at this college, huge kick out, like 6 cops there. And then we were planning on going back to that spot the next day, get a call from one of the guys down at the police station. He's like, hey, I got your number off some plates or something. This lady at Key is trying to press charges, that whole thing. And we're like, oh my God, like, fuck this town.
Yeah,
let's get out of here.
They sniffed you guys out. Get out of town.
Yeah, and it's actually the second time that happened this winter. We had another spot in Minnesota, where, oh, it's so funny. Dan was hitting this huge ledge, like beautiful ledge. I'm sure if anybody who lives in Minnesota would know, it's like this ledge at the cultural center in the middle of nowhere. And a couple months later, he calls us up.
I know. Can you just hit the down part too? Did people used to do that back in the day? Different spot.
A different spot, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he calls me up like a couple months after, and he's like, "Hey, these guys are trying to like, either press charges if you don't cover the damage and yada yada." Like some guy from the police department. And it's hilarious. Like getting a phone call from some
tracking
cop.
you down months later. Did you pay?
Because you're registered.
Yeah, we paid. It was cheap actually.
Yeah,
it was only like couple $100. I thought we were looking at like, maybe they're going to try to gouge us and get like a couple thousand.
I didn't know they could do that just from your plates. I guess it makes sense.
And this shit's registered in your name?
I think it's actually, the van's under like my dad's name. Oh. And then, because we just pay the payments to him.
It's not under the Shaman?
I thought
it's not
it was
under the Shaman.
Dust box. It's not.
No. Big shout out to my dad for.
Give him an air horn for that.
It's either under my dad or my mom, but we just pay them the payments because insurance is cheap when you're young, or expensive when you're young. And so I think they found his name, and then we're like, okay, I don't think it's a 60-year-old guy down here snowboarding, and then maybe searched up the last name in snowboard and
found you.
Yeah, ran it through the system.
Good. That's some pretty good detective work.
Yeah. Detective Scrodes.
Well, I think it might be that time, buds.
Ooh, I bet this kid's a shoo-in.
Video. All right, I gotta test these puppies on.
Well, so you take somebody like Mark McMorris. We don't expect him to get it.
No.
He's a contest dog. But somebody like yourself, the stakes are a little higher.
Yeah.
They are. The pressure's on.
Yeah. It's
going to look pretty bad for the whole dust box if you don't pull through right now.
It's true.
You're right. You're
kind of repping the whole squad right now.
What's your confidence level 0 through 10?
6. I don't know. Like I was talking to you last night. I haven't been watching a ton of videos lately, just in the past couple months, so you lose that. Obviously there's stuff that sticks with you, but
maybe we should have like a bomb hole tutor that can kind of like take you through all the notable video parts.
The classics.
You sit there, bring a notebook in,
class.
take maybe people that aren't well versed,
we can have a class for him.
Like Dusty Hendrickson, for example. He said his favorite video is Horgasm, and it's like harsh. Maybe we could do a little bit like of homework, and that it could be something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But if that's, everybody, you teach their own.
Teach their own.
Okay, here we go. This is a classic part.
Hey guys. first of all, thank you. You know, you could have gone hard. You could have. That's the Don. Bloody Sneaks himself, Ben Bilodeau.
Congratulations, you just earned yourself a prize pack. We're gonna call it
Blacked
Bomb Hole
out.
cooler. The new ones are blacked out.
Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that
Straight
new
fire.
black one.
it's got
Filled
Bomb
with
Hole merch in there. We got a Bomb Hole mug. We got some shorts in there, I believe.
Thank you, guys.
A bunch of other.
You
Bomb
didn't
Hole
say the
hats.
movie name.
Oh, Blender. Blender.
Side note, if you guys have not seen Blender and you're like, oh, I want to watch some snowboard videos, watch the damn video. It's on Colton Feldman's YouTube now, right?
Under Bender.
It's under Bender.
Yeah.
Search Bender. We'll have a link in the show notes. But
Yeah.
that's right up there with like the Dustbox video of like shit to get hyped to
It's
go.
a classic.
I mean, that's like top tier.
Yeah.
Blender
upper
is
echelon.
like,
Tommy gives me little minor scoliosis through the entire segment.
dude.
He may need to go to a
Chiro.
chiropractor after that segment. It's incredible.
Oh. Seriously though, you guys got to watch that if you haven't. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Okay, this is part 2 for the listeners, viewers. If you know the answer, comment on our Instagram for a chance to win a prize pack. And we are on it with the prize packs now. We got Jules. Shout out
Handling.
to our new employee, and she handles the prize packs. We're not missing any anymore. We're on it. So here we go.
Round one, they carry ammunition. Blaze it down.
We keep it short for the
Keep
listeners.
it short and sweet.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, but I'll leave it for the viewers. Somebody out there's got it easy.
Okay, one thing we skipped over that we normally hit earlier in the show is the breakout moment, which is presented by Pub Beer.
Let's get into our breakout moment presented by our friends over at 10 Barrel and Pub Beer. Pub Beer supports us. You should support them. Their tagline is cheap, fun beer. Now, Coop, do you remember a memorable breakout moment?
Yeah, I do. There's a little bit of lead up to it, but how old? I was 13. Yeah, 13, 12 or 13, and the Mervyn guys had come to Maine to do an event, like the Near Canada Open, and it was really fun. And they're like, "Oh, you should come to the Loon Last Call this weekend. It's the sickest." I think they were telling my mom about it, and we were like, "Oh, this sounds sweet. Like, it's a cool contest. It's like one of the, it's one of the few big contests that was going on the East Coast where everybody would get together." And just first time pulling up there, had a great time, and I think that definitely made some connections after that. Got hooked up by Oakley, and just met a lot of people. And I think that was one of the few times I had seen the snowboarding community and actually been close to it, and just led to more opportunities. So that was definitely huge.
Get your eyes opened up, huh, to what's behind the curtain of the real sport.
Exactly.
The real culture.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, give you a little confidence, and maybe you can go somewhere with it.
Yeah, straight up.
And I remember when I first met you, you were like 17, and I'm here like over twice your age on a trip, Finland with you, seeing you
Good
all
times.
smoking weed with the boys and all that, and I'm just like, man, should I have like called this kid's parents before coming on a trip? He's so young. And talking with you, dude, I was always so surprised that you seem like, I don't know, just so beyond your time and just
shaman.
Yeah, just a shaman. Your parents, it sounded like, kind of let you travel around at a young age and really get out there. You said you were like flying international alone too at like 14 or something.
Yeah, and definitely very thankful for my parents for setting me up. They gave me the freedom, but also set me up as like, you gotta handle these opportunities well. You can't just, obviously it is about having fun, but you gotta watch yourself. And I'm really thankful for their guidance and their support. But their guidance is maybe more valuable. Mm-hmm. Like use that time and those opportunities well.
Totally. They did it right.
They did. I got only the utmost respect and love for my parents. They're the best.
And you see a lot of in the contrary, you see some parents that are like latched down tight and don't give their children much freedom. And I mean, I'm not a parent. It's easy to say shit from my couch without kids, but it seems like a lot of people that end up in that chair talking to us that have done well snowboarding have had parents that are very supportive and are just like, I believe in you, do your thing. And it seems to pan out better than like, there's a lot of different ways of going about it, but it's
the helicopter parent.
Yes.
It's never, I mean, to each their own, but you gotta have trust in your kids. Because if you don't have trust in them, they don't believe in themselves. You know, they don't believe they can actually be a steady person and watch themselves. You know, if they always feel like, you know, like, oh, my mom's like, or my dad's always cracking down on me, or always saying I'm not, like, you're not going in the right direction, like, obviously you're going to doubt yourself and not have that confidence to grow up.
Yeah, when you're out in those streets too, you don't know what's going to go down in a foreign country, so you got to be ready for any situation. So
straight up, you learn a lot from those streets.
You do, man. You really do.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from college, but you can learn a lot from life experiences too.
Yeah,
you know, I've seen buds out there. You know, what happens when you're you got to learn. What happens when you're in a city with your board bag doesn't show up? It's super cold, and all you guys your shoes. Well, you put trash bags on your feet.
Trash bags.
It's like, dude, you don't learn that in college. You learn that in the streets.
Exactly.
So I got a Patreon question from Lance Hacker.
Oh, sweet.
And I've actually wanted to ask this question myself too. I bet a lot of people do. What's the reason you don't use names in the videos? It's confusing as hell.
We were actually talking about that the other day. I think last year, maybe we didn't feel like there was maybe enough footage for every single part to have like a true part set up to the video. And honestly, I think it can take away from the video when it's just clips and there's nothing else, and it's just the footage and there's just the music. There's some raw authenticity and just, you know, that's it. That was the moment. And it kind of like makes you forget you're watching a snowboard video. Maybe it makes you think you're just there with the homies. It's confusing as hell. Maybe next year we'll put some names in there.
Well, even if
I like the names. I like the names.
Yeah, like, even if you pop it in once, you know, and then I know what your kit looks like. Then I know all your
But there's
shots.
also another factor where you're like, oh, I fucking, like, you watch skate videos with people. Like I always watch Gesme, right? He's always got all these skate videos I never fucking seen on. I don't have my finger on the pulse, but like he knows every single name. And there's something about being like, yo, I know the name.
Yeah,
I'm on the guy. I know the guy. I know the guy. You want to be the guy that knows the guy.
Seriously.
But for the people that don't know the fucking guys, I want the name.
Yeah.
I want the name.
I want the name.
There's
I
two
don't know
sides
the guy.
to it. There's two sides to it. And I think maybe that's why some of us were down, because like we are very like that. You know, you watch a skate video, our friend group's pretty like very in touch. I try to stay very in touch with like, you know, like who's that in that new video that came out. And you don't see that in snowboarding. So it's cool to kind of like give people a chance to try to search for it and like keep thinking about like, who is that guy? But I think this year we'll have some titles in there.
Again, back to keeping snowboarding cool.
Yeah,
it's
keep it
another
fresh.
Factor. We always do a section on the show called Hot Takes. So, you know, first question we like to ask is, who is the MJ of snowboarding, the GOAT, if you will? Who do you got?
Dude, that's tough, because you got to choose somebody that's kind of been in it, you know, has the weight of a GOAT. And dude, who would that be? Because right off the bat, I would say like Gesme or Jed, because those guys are like
great
the
answers.
best of the
Those are
best.
Great answers.
But I think it's maybe somebody more like Louif. I mean, homie's like, he's pioneered so much. He has been on the forefront of so much, and like just continues to. He didn't really slow down at any point in time. It was like right when you thought like maybe he was getting old, and it came out even harder. And I feel like that has some similarity to Jordan.
I love that answer.
I like that answer too, because he deserve that, I think.
I love. Yeah, he's almost like, yeah. To me, he's a little young. He'd be like a LeBron.
True.
But also
maybe MFM.
Love that answer.
That's a good
MFM's
one.
the the MJ.
Maybe, I don't know. It's a toss up.
That's a great answer as well. I love that. Now, what do you think about the old edge drag when you're walking across the parking lot holding a snowboard? You know, you ever pull that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good flex.
Yeah.
You ever pull that in the streets?
Yeah. Lazy. Just grab that heel cup, let it drag. It's like, screw it, you know? It looks awful. Like if you hold the snowboard well, it looks better for sure. But something about being like, you know what, fuck it, like let that shit drag.
Yeah, sometimes you got to flex a bit of an edge drag. Let them know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I did it in Mammoth a couple weeks ago.
Now,
feels good. It's empowering.
It does feel good.
So, if your life was played by a Hollywood actor, who would play the role? We asked that. Patreon, but me and Buds have our own answer.
I want to hear your guys' answer first.
Buds?
Do you got the photo? Or?
Let me pull up the photo, and I think you may agree because I would say our answer.
We got a young David Hasselhoff.
Exactly.
Are you familiar with him?
I am.
Look at this photo. Look at that.
We'll take it.
And he's shirtless, just like you came. You answered we answered the door today, and there you were.
Hasselhoff is a dope. Like, if you could have one person to play your life, Hasselhoff.
Yeah, he's had
Baywatch.
some roles.
Are you familiar with Baywatch?
Yeah.
At all? He is definitely. That's a win. Like
that is a win. I'll take it.
He looks like his champ. He's got a good champ on that. It's got a good volume on the puff.
I had a second one too.
Oh, he's got another. He's got another lookalike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See,
Will Ferrell.
He looks like my dad. Honestly, with the fro, like you look at like younger photos of my dad. And
you know who I'm going? You know who I'm going for that one? That's Ted Borland. That's Ted Borland.
He does look like Ted Borland.
You got to go Ted Borland.
In the face.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Okay. One thing I kind of want to address, which is an interesting topic. I can't say I share the same sentiment of this, but I've heard a couple Dustbox haters out there, and I'm not going to put myself in this category because I'm not, and I don't agree. However, I've heard some people say, "Oh, the video is pretty sick, but some of the spots are a little small."
Oh, okay.
Do you have any? Do you have anything you'd like to say to those people or address that in any way?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, spots can be small. I think some of it comes out of necessity. You know, like we were in Fargo, North Dakota. You don't find a lot of like 40 stair rails in Fargo. You gotta make do. And I think a lot of us get stoked on it because it's like, if you can make a small spot look dope, maybe it's a little bit more inspiring for somebody who's not all that good and can't cab two onto the kink rail. You know, like, it looks a little bit more accessible. And fuck them. Like,
that's what we needed. That's what we're looking for.
Like,
that's the correct answer.
Correct answer is.
Like, I don't know. Sure, there can be small spots, but there's some big ass spots, and
of course. Yeah. And actually, the reality of the situation is you guys are doing something well, because what does that stem from? People talk shit on your spots because you guys are getting a lot of shine. So if you guys are getting a lot of shine and they're not, they're going to cut you down so they try to feel better about themselves. But the correct answer to that question, again, is fuck. So, and also, let's just stay on the subject because it's fun if we're going to get into the intricacies of videos and spots and tricks and all this stuff. But, like, you know, there's eras of big, giant wall grids with gigantic landings and 3-day builds. Like, you know, somebody shows up and you put a fucking landing there and you spent 4 days on it and you hit the thing 4 times.
Yeah.
And that era is kind of came and went. You're like, that is fucking easy and then whatever. That was just not that visually appealing. There's, you need a goddamn front end loader in order to make the spot possible. And when it gets to that point, it's just not really relatable in some senses, I think.
Definitely not. It's like, it's more of like stunts at that point. And dude, it's cool to play it where it lies and, like, you know,
a little golf terminology.
Play it where it lies. Like, you know, if there's like
golf
something's not huge, but it looks really cool and it doesn't take a lot to do. Like, I feel like a lot of smaller spots we hit. Look, dude, there's like, if you look, there's not a lot of build. Like, if it's a small spot, there's probably little to no build. So it's more like, I don't know, just keep it raw. Like, if you have fun on something and you really felt like dope doing it, fuck what anybody.
I like what you said about accessibility too, because we need that right now. We need more people out there.
But like, yeah, you see the homie do the 540 into the wall ride. Like, nobody's gonna see that and be like, dude, I really want to go out and like snowboard today. Like, I really want to go hit the rail in the backyard. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't translate, I don't think.
No, it's a good point, and also that's like flavor too. If you watch your Jake Kuziks and you watch your people that are, in my opinion, you know, cream of the crop, if you will. You look the spots. There's not snow everywhere. There's not like fucking a dump truck full of snow on the outside. It's like, damn, that shit's like just a little bit of snow. It's just looks like they just pulled up, ran it up, got the clip, got out, and it's got the feeling. It's got that intangible feeling, and some clips have it and some don't, but. Totally. Knowing what it is and knowing how to figure that out is kind of probably what gives your guys' video some success, I'd imagine.
It's part of the process, yeah. It's dude, it's cool. I don't know, to find like a spot that it's just the spot, you know. There's not much else to it. Like if you can hit a spot with little to no lip, like that's sick. That's almost cooler than the tech trick because good spot's hard to come by, especially one that doesn't require a lot of build. Something that's like if there's a spot that's right there, in the spot itself, I don't know. I guess that's not a good way of putting it, but like if it doesn't take much to make it a spot, it's a million times cooler. Like if it's just naturally there.
The aesthetics are there.
Yeah.
I think the proof's in the numbers too. I mean, you get these edits with 10,000 views, and then you get you guys with 100,000 views,
200 plus.
200 plus. I mean, there's the proof right there. I mean, it's obviously working.
I think I don't know. I think what our video did is just made people a little bit more excited to do it themselves.
Hyped to ride, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's what it boils down to.
And the sound. Who came up with who's the music ace in the hole for the tracks?
All over. I mean, dude, it's like everybody has like put in songs. It's so many of the songs in the video came from one person's library or another. So I think that's something that's really cool. Is it's like the group shines there. It's a little bit of everybody's flavor.
Is there like a CEO of the Dust Box?
There's a shaman.
There's just a shaman.
There's just a shaman.
We don't abide by corporate structure.
It's actually it's almost like a commune, you know?
Yeah,
like a hippie
commune. The shaman and the commune.
GBP vibes.
I like that.
Definitely big GBP.
Yeah, they had a
shout
commune.
out. So I got to ask for my own personal, I just want to know, what percentage of your brain, how much time do you spend thinking about tricks and spots? And like what percentage of your brain does that occupy?
Depends on the month.
Midwinter. Foot on the gas pedal.
Dude, like 80%. Like so much. Like if you aren't inside the house doing something, I don't know, maybe not for everybody, but I'm a very obsessive personality. Like I got OCD, and that's like definitely something where it shines. It's like, dude, you can't stop thinking about it. At least I can't stop thinking about like finding the perfect spot or finding the perfect spot for that trick and just how the video is going to look, how the part's going to look like.
What about in bed sleeping, or do you like obsess?
Yeah.
Wake up in the night with a cold sweat thinking of a spot?
Dude, for sure. Like tricks will like haunt me that I wasn't stoked on. Like shit that I was like, oh, that was cool, but it's not really how I want to see my snowboard. Like that'll get you at like midnight. You're laying there like, all right, we gotta go harder. You know, like
if I messed up on a photo, I'll do that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. It's anything that you really care about. Like it's gonna take up a lot of your mental capacity.
What about the good old fashioned doomsday spot? That's always the night before of a doomsday spot where you're like, I could break my legs.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're tossing and turning all night. That's never a fun situation.
Yeah, we were in Iowa actually, and there was a doomsday spot, and like I knew I was for 3 days. I knew we were gonna try to go to it, and I was like, it gets to you. It really gets to your mental when you're like really stuck on something and you can't just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wait for it to come together.
You need the Sunday morning or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that clip? Did you get it?
Either.
No.
Okay, I heard that you have heat in the new video.
Thank you for.
So yeah, I don't know, just what everybody's saying, but yeah. So people, the new Dustbox flick is gonna be heat, or what are we thinking?
Dude, yeah. I mean, for whoever was talking down on spots, every single spot was like, I don't know, everybody just hit a little upgrade. You know, time in the workshop all summer, time to think about it. We're all getting a little older too, getting more like a lot of us don't have, you know, a lot of experience in the streets. You know, maybe it seems like we're getting to a point where it's becoming a thing, but dude, a lot of us have only been in the streets for 2 years, 3 years. Like we're still figuring it out.
Bud's been out there for 30, 40 years.
40
got
years.
some time.
Yeah.
Going on 50.
But definitely big upgrade. Not to like toot our own horn or anything, be cocky, but stoked on
progression. I mean, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's just bound to happen if you're putting in work.
How was jibbing around New York City?
That was fun. That was like very very stressful, I guess. Not really in like a bad way, but just how it came about. Like we booked our tickets the day before because we didn't you didn't know, looking at the percentage of like the chance of snow up until about 2 days before, you didn't really know if it was going to hit a snow. And then once we saw that 95% snow, you're like, well, we're doing this. And then you saw, like, okay, it's going to be a foot in the city. Like, we got to do this. Like, New York City is one of the arteries of skateboarding, and street snowboarding draws so much inspiration from skateboarding that I think if you are a fan of skateboarding or even just a fan of videos, you have such appreciation for the aesthetic appeal and look to New York. And it was pretty like chaotic, but it worked out for sure.
Did you take the subway to any spots?
Yeah, we were taking the subway to a couple spots. Like when we got there on the first snowstorm, because we went 2 trips to New York, but on the first trip we had a U-Haul truck, and it was like, dude, the city was like practically shut down. Obviously people are still driving around, but it's chaos. And we didn't want to try to find another parking spot, so we took the subway. One of my homies, Nate Hansen, who lives there, he goes to school there, he just like obviously very in tune with the subways and getting around to all the different spots. We like kind of lined up our day, and we're like, oh, we're going to take this subway to here, and then we'll be in a good zone if we want to go to like that other spot. If shit busts, we'll go there. And it was really fun. It was cool to go on the subway all day and then like come back to a park at night and just post up and have a couple drinks and watch somebody get down on a night spot. It really felt like skateboarding. Like that same crew vibe, just very relaxed and cruising around the city.
The locals must have tripped on you guys walking around with boards,
dude,
through that city.
Definitely. There was a lot of like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is insane. But people loved it. It was so inspiring for us to see, because you go to the mountain so much, you don't see, or not even just the mountain, but cities where snowboarding's common. You don't see that shock factor of somebody who's like completely blown away and starstruck by the act of it and is just so excited like that. That makes you so stoked on snowboarding and so hyped to just have fun and enjoy it. And that's what it's about.
And yeah, there's a great testament too when you talk about being in Iowa and going to a rail, and obviously the locals there are just like, "What the fuck is this? This is horrible." And then you go to downtown New York City, and there's a lot more crime. There's a lot more things going on that are a cause of concern. That they can see it for what it is. I'm sure it's every circumstance is different, but it seems like the police are less stressed out about somebody snowboarding in a park on a rail than in Iowa. So It's interesting how those environments kind of change the perception of snowboarding.
Completely. And I think our crew kind of thrives in that environment. It's like, there's not so many eyes, or maybe there's more eyes, but they're not so judgmental. You can get away with so much more shit.
That's another thing going on. We've been on trips all over the world, and you go, I think that, like, if we go to Scandinavia, for example, like, it seems as though people mind their own business more.
Yeah.
Like that's like here in the United States, people tend to make other shit their business. Like,
straight up.
Oh, this person's like snowboarding on this park rail, and I walk my dog here once a week. This is a personal attack on my life. It's like, no, it's not. That's not your fucking business. Just keep going. Just keep walking your fucking dog.
Yeah, like if you want us to help you get up the stairs, we will, and we won't make it any more of a hassle for you. But like, come on, dude. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're right. Scandinavia is so.
But they just mind their own business. They walk right past you. They're like, cool. This does not affect. Which it doesn't. It just does not affect my day. These guys snowboarding on this picnic table in the park doesn't affect my day.
Yeah.
But I think snow in the U.S. just throws certain people for a loop. Definitely. And in Scandinavia, it's like, it's going to snow. It's just a matter of
Very
when.
Nordic town.
Yeah. They're out there cross-country skiing, running, biking, walking their dogs, pushing their kids. And, they love just to see that you're outside.
Definitely. And I think their culture being a very winter sports-focused culture has a lot to do with that. It's just more accepted as a pastime and as a profession. They actually, have respect for what you're doing. And they're not like, oh, some stupid kid is just throwing snow on my stairs and just being an imbecile. Like, they actually have respect for you trying to push yourself.
And make a living even.
Exactly, especially when they know that's what you're doing.
So true.
Now, you talked about pulling inspiration from skateboarding. You spent a lot of your life dedicated to skateboarding. What role does skateboarding have in your life?
Huge. Definitely just as equal as snowboarding. Even though I don't treat it as the same. Like, skateboarding for me is by far nowadays more of just a fun thing to do. There's no pressure. It's just I just want to go skate. Whereas snowboarding, I mean, you guys know it. It can turn into, all right, we're working hard, it's really fun, but it's a little bit more, it turns into a little bit more of a job, even though it's really fun. So skating's just like very relaxed, just the best pastime, and there's just so much more style in skateboarding. There's so much more accessibility, so it allows for so much style to come through. And it's just, dude, it's the best. It's like by far way cooler than snowboarding. Anybody can say what they want, but like you can't deny that. Like skating is the rawest, dopest thing out.
I think they're both cool in their own right. I think catching air on a snowboard is fucking awesome. You can't do that unless you hit the mega ramp. But all in all, I agree in a lot of senses. But one thing, going back to what you were saying earlier, I think that the pressures that we put on ourselves as if you're a sponsored snowboarder, the minute you start maybe choosing it as a career path, or you're like, this is what I want to do, you start putting pressure on yourself. And it's not necessarily pressure from the brands or anything like that. And I think that takes away from snowboarding at times, also makes it very fun. You get to push yourself. Whereas skating, for people like ourselves, to me, I say it's my golf.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like I go there, I fucking relax. I don't give a shit if I skate like complete trash. And it's like it's golf in a sense, and that's like
seriously,
for people that don't golf.
At the mountain, you have a reputation to uphold. People, you got eyes on you because of who you guys are. So
totally,
it's not like golf.
Yeah,
it's stressful.
You go up there and do 50s, and you're like, I know somebody on the trip's like, this guy's not even good, Like,
I should be sponsored. I should have his spot.
But yeah,
I want his spot in the van.
You're right, though. Skating it's just so relaxing, and it's such a good pastime. I mean, it is so good for kids. It's so good for adults. It can teach you so much about yourself and so much about, patience and so many good lessons. I really think everybody should give it a try. Even if you don't think it. Yeah, teach you how to fall. So humbling. It's just everything about it's amazing.
Another thing, too, I think I say it a lot, but those skate parks are kind of sacred grounds for people that don't have a good place to go, that maybe don't want to be at home. There's always a place to go, especially ones with lights and a good community and
friends.
Yeah.
People that actually care about you and will have your back. Like
always somebody there too. Yeah. Just like, oh, fuck them. Somebody lives by themselves in the studio apartment. Go to a skate park.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
The homies will be there. And like you're saying, for somebody that does have a rough home situation, it can be such a support network for them. Obviously, it can also be a place for people to go down the wrong path, but I do wish people would recognize that it really can be a safe haven for people that are struggling. And I wish cities would recognize that. I think maybe in Europe they have, but the States still has a long way to come.
Totally. Great point. Yeah, just random story. And I remember, for example, quitting drinking for me. I've been, haven't drank for over 4 years and talk about it occasionally, but I remember trying to figure out how to live, right? All my friends slam beers at night. Like that's what they do. Instead of going with them to the bar, which is our routine, or hammering beers, the only place where I would just go to the skate park that had lights till 11. Yeah. And it helped me through that process. It was there for me when I needed it.
Yeah.
So totally. I think that talking about those roles of those spaces, I talk about it a lot, but I genuinely believe those spaces are truly important. And especially for kids and everything else.
It's good that something like that can just allow you a safe space in a sense. Like a skate park can totally be a safe space. And that's awesome that you were able to use it as a bit of a mechanism and a space to overcome some things. And, that's beautiful.
Thank you, Coop. Appreciate that. Now, I feel like you got any more Patreons you want to hit?
I do.
Okay.
I got a pretty good one here, and it's good for the tail end of this conversation. This is from Frank Wang. Would love a message of inspiration for the next generation trying to mix riding, content creation, and just kicking ass in general.
Hey.
It's a great question.
That is a really good question. Thank you, Frank was his name?
Yep.
Thank you, Frank, for giving such a good question. I think, as we were kind of talking about earlier, you got to do it for the right reasons. And you got to really understand what it is you want to do. And you don't necessarily know how you want it. You don't have to know how you want to do it, but just think about, what brings you joy and how could you maybe bring that joy to somebody else, or what do you really care about, and just go all in if you can. Any time that you can put towards what you love and what you want to work towards, do it. You can't do anything like that easily. It's gonna take time. You have to just put in the time. I mean, that's like anything. If you want to really be stoked on what you're doing, fucking put in insane hours, try to really become something that you're proud of and create stuff that you're proud of.
I love that. That's a great point. And going back to, and essentially what he's saying too, to add to that, you look at people that are like, I want to get sponsored. How do I get sponsored? Well, let's reverse engineer that a little bit. Get really fucking good and people will notice.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, that's a big part of it. And then I like with you, I think of the Wu-Tang thing that Buds always brings up.
Yeah. Get a sick crew and go all out.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's you guys. And you got half the damn dust box in the garage as our live audience.
Yeah, they
today.
just started trickling
They just
in.
trickle in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really fuck with them because you got to deal with a bunch of them if you try to fuck with one of them, you know?
So, well, and also you guys are there to help each other out, to get the shots that are needed, and you can't do it alone. I mean,
no,
it's a sport where you need a crew, and
you need a crew.
Yeah,
and,
so hopefully these kids are putting their crews together so we can see what the future is going to bring us for the next generation.
Yeah, and I think they are. I think you look at the videos that have been coming out recently. I know there's a couple more that are coming out this fall. Dude, it's sick to see more crews coming about. Like, it's just You guys know it hasn't felt like that in a while. It's turned into more like the big crews, and then it's hard to work your way up. But I think maybe snowboarding's shift that I think everybody's seen is kind of promoting younger kids getting down with their homies and just having fun. And back to Frank's question, also, don't take it too seriously. You know, you got to have fun. If you're not having fun doing it and actually enjoying what you're doing, like, dude, maybe it's not for you.
Yeah, you're supposed to be having fun.
You're supposed to be having. That is that is the point of it.
That's a great point. Okay, well, I think we've been doing the damn thing, Coop. It's time to start wrapping this thing up. Now, before we get out of here, do you want to hit some thank yous? Do you have some people in mind?
Yeah, definitely. First off, my family, huge thank you for everything they've done for me and just being so supportive of like my dream. And then a couple other people I could think of would be some mentors and coaches that I had early on, like this guy Pete Libby from Maine. He was like definitely steered me on the right direction. And then Ian Kirk and over at Kirk's Camp and Chris Waker. Huge shout out to both of those guys. Amazing dudes who and Christian Connors and everybody over there, like they were so down to earth and really made you realize why you liked snowboarding, why you loved it, and promoted it, and like set a lot of me and my friends up to where we are now. And I really have like a lot of gratefulness for those guys. And one big one would be Dave Massey,
massive superhero.
Yeah, super. Like, I don't think a lot of people know this, but the dust box would not be a thing. Oh, sorry to get emotional, but without Massey, dude, he was like, yeah. Fuck.
He ran the Burton Demo Center up at Mount Hood and
influenced a lot of
part
kids.
Of these guys. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't really elaborate on it, but yeah, dude.
Well, dude, what you're doing right now says it all, man. He's obviously really important to you, and
yeah, and I think
stuff's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. And I think as we've kind of grown, you really realize like it can be one person that shifts so many people's life. So, sorry.
Hell yeah,
don't say
dude.
sorry. It's good. You're honoring.
It's good to let it out.
It's okay
too,
to
man.
miss your friend, man.
And I know that guy had so many people affected. He affected so many people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many. And dude, he was like just the most loving, like heart, just open-armed person. Anybody that walked through that door that needed to stay or just wanted to be a part of it, like, dude, you were welcome.
Yeah, everyone was welcome. You didn't have to be part of Burton or anything.
No.
Yeah.
No. And so, fucking thank you, Dave Massey.
Well, if he was still here with us today, he'd be damn proud of everything you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And that's the best way you can honor somebody is by going out and fucking getting some for the people that can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have been doing that. So, man, I'm sure he's looking down and he's fucking proud, dude.
Very proud.
Yeah. It's for those homies, you know, you're doing it for those guys like Massey and Ojo or anybody else that, you know, can't be there. You just want to make the homies proud that, you know, that inspired you to do what you do. So,
Just
beautiful.
Too many fallen ones along the way, too, man.
Yeah.
Well, take care of those ones around you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show, Coop. It's
Thank
been a
you, guys.
pleasure, man.
It really has been.
Yeah, Coop, I didn't know you were such a good public speaker, too, man.
Yes, I didn't either.
Coming here, so well-spoken.
Well, I want to say
so
thank you
much.
guys for everybody that's listening, everybody that's tuning in. We really, really appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week over and out from the bomb hole.